Tonight, citizens on parking patrol.
I think we're not ready for that. I'm not ready for that.
Snitching on parking violators. The Parking Authority presents its plan to outsource evidence gathering to the public. Also tonight, revisiting Portage and Main. New numbers show the impact reopening the roadway has had on traffic. Plus, back on the shelf, why U.S. booze is back on sale and how long it will be there.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Many feared the reopening of Portage and Main to foot traffic back in June would add big delays to commute times. But tonight the city says there's been almost no impact to drivers at all. Standing by live tonight with some new data on the intersection is CTV's Joseph Bernacki. So Joseph, it's been 5 months since those barricades came down. What do Winnipeggers think of the change?
Marilee, generally people are pretty happy with those that I've spoken to, at least today. It's been a welcome decision over those last 5 months. And generally speaking, a spokesperson from the city told me there's been minimal impact to travel times, of course, for vehicles. As for pedestrians on foot, the removal of the barricades is a win for people trying to get around downtown. David Crone was one of the first people to walk across Portage and Main back in June.
I crossed the morning of. I was there at 10 o'clock in the morning when they opened it up.
The executive director of Cerebral Palsy Association of Manitoba lives with a condition which limits his mobility. He says the reopening was much needed for the accessibility community.
It removes barriers. All those invisible barriers that people, if they're not using a cane or a wheelchair or walker or whatever that situation is, even just navigate through space.
Crone says on average he crosses here once a week on foot. He says he is surprised to see so few people using the crossing.
I really don't see a lot of people crossing, to be honest.
But there are people walking, an average of 3,570 people daily since September 1st, according to new data from the City of Winnipeg. As for that impact on traffic, minimal, says the city. A recent analysis of time spent in traffic for all routes shows a negligible increase from last year when the barricades were up. Mayor Scott Gillingham says that's encouraging.
There was a lot of doomsday, kind of noise that before it opened that, there would be a lot of accidents and traffic delays would be long. That just hasn't happened.
Morning travel on 2 routes was unchanged year over year. Travel time for the other 2 increased by less than a minute. Afternoon travel time on 1 route actually decreased and increased on the 3 others by 1 to 2 minutes. City Councillor Janice Lukes put forward a plebiscite motion back in 2018 where Winnipeggers voted no to opening Portage and Main. She says it's a relief because city engineers had forecasted much worse.
Every traffic flow is going to be all over. It was traffic Armageddon, right? And none of that happened.
Crone remembers when Portage and Main closed in February 1979. He was just a kid back then.
Well, I guess we'll see how many people are still crossing that intersection now that the weather's taken a turn for the worse.
It was pretty chilly outside today, Marilee, when I was walking around. I might have only seen about 15 or so when I was there just for about 10 minutes. So we'll see if it picks up closer to the Christmas break.
Yeah, not many windbreaks at that intersection. Thanks, Joseph. A 12 and 14-year-old girl are facing charges tonight following a violent robbery that sent a woman in her 60s to hospital with stab wounds. It happened in the parking lot of a retail business in the 2300 block of McGillivray Boulevard on November 26th. Police say the woman in her 60s was returning to her vehicle when 2 teenagers demanded her purse. When she refused, police say she was stabbed. The woman was taken to hospital in unstable condition. She's since been upgraded to stable. The 2 girls were arrested in Sioux Valley, Dakota Nation Friday by Verdun RCMP. Both are charged with robbery. The 14-year-old was detained in custody, while the 12-year-old was released on an undertaking. None of the charges have been tested in court. A veteran Winnipeg police officer who took a photo of a dead woman while on duty is no longer on the job. Police Chief Gene Bauer says Constable Elston Bostock, who was previously suspended without pay, is off the force. Bostock pleaded guilty last month to several offenses, including causing an indignity to human remains. The 22-year member of the service has not yet been sentenced and still faces other charges. Winnipeg police are out to bust some Christmas Grinches this holiday season. The force is bringing back Operation Safe Shop, a campaign launched 3 years ago to reduce retail theft and make your holiday shopping safer. So while you're hustling and bustling to check off all those gifts on your shopping list, you can expect to see an increased police presence in busy shopping areas. The focused enforcement aims to catch shoplifters in the act or to stop them from stealing in the first place.
In this work, what we've identified is have repeat offenders or offenders who do multiple locations, high volume, and these are the offenders that really cause the retailers grief, and they fear for their safety. They see them coming through the door. They know this person already is going to shoplift. They recognize them. So we've taken a more focused approach in regarding identifying who those people are, and specifically going and arresting them and getting them off the streets.
Police also have some safety tips to make your Christmas shopping experience merry and bright. When parking, keep your valuables out of sight. Stay alert to your surroundings. Don't carry more cash than you need. Park in a well-lit area and never leave purchases unattended. Well, the River Trail isn't ready just yet, but we are getting our first peek tonight at the warming huts that will line it. The Forks released these images today of the winning entries in this year's competition. 6 new designs have been selected to join some returning favorites on the Nestawaya River Trail. The winning designs come from a diverse group of international competitors. There are warming huts designed in Shanghai, China, Fayetteville, USA, and Paris, France. Officials say the plan is to start building them at the end of January. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. I know you are keeping track on a winter storm watch for us tonight. What's the latest on that?
The southwestern part of Manitoba, Marilee, is under that watch, not because of this snow that you see here right now that's still falling in Winnipeg, but the next round of snow that's coming in the next few hours is going to be a much more potent low pressure system, and that part of the province, the southwest, is set to receive potentially an awful lot of snow. We'll get some of it here in Winnipeg too. I'll show you how much coming up, but let's take a look right now first through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It is snowing right now in the city. It is -10. The winds are calm. The pressure's falling, and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 89%.
Thanks, Colleen. We have some dramatic video to show you now of a dangerous joyride through the Regent area last week. Take a look at this. It was captured by a dash cam Friday afternoon around La Jamodier, just past Regent Avenue. A truck, you see there, swerves across the southbound lanes and then rolls over onto the median. But that's not the end of this. That truck then manages to drive away, albeit in pretty rough condition. Winnipeg police tell us it was later found abandoned on Panet Road. RCMP confirmed that truck was stolen from a business in the RM of St. Clements earlier in the day. Both police agencies say they are not aware of any injuries and no arrests have been made, although this investigation is ongoing. Window strikes are deadly to birds and disturbing to residents, but City Council is considering scrapping a bylaw which requires bird-friendly measures on windows in some developments. To tell us more about this, CTV's Harrison Shin joins us now live. Harrison, how common are bird strikes?
Marilee, according to a scientist I talked with today, about 25 million birds die after flying into hitting and windows. And he's calling this proposal a step backward. A year-old bylaw aimed at reducing window strikes by birds is being reviewed in response to concerns by developers, and an expert in bird migration calls it a surprise move.
The bylaw was only implemented about a year or so ago, so it hasn't really had its chance to do its work yet for migratory birds, thousands of which are passing through our city every spring and fall on migration.
The city is now proposing to take out bird-friendly window requirements from the, quote, malls and corridors plant development overlay after hearing from developers that the measure has made it difficult for them to source materials and keep down costs.
The cost increase is not insignificant for for a mid to larger multifamily project. You're talking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars in terms of increased cost just on the windows alone.
McInnes says windows are specialized, requiring etching or coating, which are special orders. He points out that there are other factors that lead to window strikes, such as lighting, shade, and wind patterns. But for Fraser, this seems to be a step backward.
One really good estimate suggested that 25 million birds die with windows every single year in Canada. So while that sounds like a really awful number, it seems like something that we can readily solve. We know what we need to do to windows to make them more friendly for birds.
City Council will hear the proposal next Thursday, December 18th.
Harrison, are there any other amendments proposed for that day?
Well, on top of the bird-friendly window requirements, the council will also review minimum ground floor height for non-residential buildings.
All right, thanks for this, Harrison. American booze will start flowing in Manitoba once again, but only for a limited amount of time. Today, the Manitoba government opened up sales of alcohol products from the U.S. it pulled from shelves back in March to protest American tariffs. Private retailers and liquor stores, including beer vendors and restaurants, are getting first crack at the products. Then on Wednesday, the American liquor will be sold at liquor marts until Christmas Eve. The province is hoping to raise $500,000. The proceeds will be donated to support local charities, including the Christmas Cheer Board and Harvest Manitoba. Winnipeg Transit is presenting its budget proposal to city councillors, and officials say this year Transit didn't pull in as much money as expected. In 2024, Winnipeg Transit managed to restore ridership to 95% of pre-pandemic numbers. But this past year, that number dropped to 89%, a roughly 6% drop. Part of the decline was anticipated due to the changes rolled out this summer, but officials with Winnipeg Transit say the numbers actually started falling at the end of last year before those new routes went into effect, and they don't know why.
One system that I talk to a lot is called WMATA in Washington, D.C. And they have seen the exact same thing as well. They launched a major network change exactly on the same day we did, and they saw the same thing where they've seen a bit of a decline in ridership since the launch, similar to what we have, but they also saw that decline starting late last year, and they also don't know why.
Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke suspects safety concerns could be a factor. This fall, Winnipeg police officers started patrolling Winnipeg Transit buses. Winnipeg firefighters are sounding the alarm over the city's proposed budget. It includes a plan to hire 40 firefighters over 4 years, with 10 joining the service next year. But the union says this falls well short of the service's request to hire 40 firefighters in 2026 alone. Union President Nick Casper says the city will end up paying more in firefighter overtime costs than it would to simply hire more firefighters.
We're hoping that they apply some common sense in this budget, and instead of waiting till the end of the year and wasting $10 million in overtime, that all that we're asking to accelerate the hiring and double the number of hires this year would only cost between $300,000 and $400,000. We're talking about pennies on the dollar here, and right now this budget robs Peter to pay Paul.
And to drive that point home, Casper says more than 99% of the union's members voted against the proposed budget in an internal non-confidence vote. The union's call to hire more firefighters is set to be discussed at the Executive Policy Committee this Friday. The proposed budget is set to go to a final vote of council on December 17th. The Manitoba Métis Federation is taking the provincial and federal governments to court, saying both are liable for harm caused by the Sixties Scoop.
Never has the government of Canada sat down and negotiated properly and truly, honestly, with the Red River Métis. So we decided we can't wait no longer.
The court filings claim thousands of Métis children were removed from their homes between the 1930s and 90s and placed with non-Indigenous families. It says this was done due to the government assimilation policies, provincial child welfare legislation, and other factors which inflicted significant harm. In 2017, the federal government reached a settlement with First Nation Sixties Scoop survivors. However, MMF President David Chartrand says a settlement has never been negotiated with the Red River Métis.
So justice is one we'll seek, and of course there's compensation are being given to others, and why the Red River Métis are being left out is insulting in this country.
CTV News has reached out to Indigenous Services Canada for comment and is awaiting a response. The province declined to comment. None of the claims have been tested in court. Parking tickets won't be mailed out based on citizen-submitted photos only. The Winnipeg Parking Authority wanted to explore a photo-based public reporting system for parking violations, but the Public Works Committee voted down the idea in a 2-1 vote. With more on what just unfolded, CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live. So, Jeff, tell us why this isn't moving forward.
The committee chair says Winnipeg is not ready to explore this at this time. The Winnipeg Parking Authority won't be exploring a plan to issue parking tickets based on citizen photos alone.
I'm going to try and kill it today. We'll let them make their case.
In a 2-1 vote, the Public Works Committee voted down the plan.
And I'm moving this motion because of the way everything involved. It's been a great learning experience. I don't think we're quite ready to explore right now.
The Parking Authority wanted to look into a system where enforcement officers could examine photos of parking violations sent in by the public and then mail out tickets based on the picture only. They told the committee right now thousands of photos of violations are sent to the city every year, but in half the cases, by the time an enforcement officer physically checks out the situation, the vehicle is gone. So this could be a way to better use resources and deter people from parking illegally.
We do an excellent job that we get out there really fast, but if 53% of the time there's no vehicle there or no infraction, that's not very effective use of resources.
The committee heard there is software that can detect when a photo is fraudulent, and the Parking Authority also said they were looking at specific infractions only to start, like illegally parking in a disabled spot or a fire zone. But some had concerns this could lead to conflicts between the person snapping the photo and the vehicle owner.
Are we going to be able to get out of that without an altercation taking place? That's really the questions I have with it, and why would we want to encourage our citizens to do that?
It's a weird world out there right now. There's a lot of weird things going on, so it wouldn't surprise me. And I think just for now, I think we just not worry about it.
Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke said the motion that she put forward is for next year, but looking at this down the road, it's not totally ruled out, Marilee.
Interesting. All right, thanks for this, Jeff. Getting into MPI's driver training program won't be like landing tickets for a popular concert going forward. Starting this spring, there's going to be multi-day registration window.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll do it right here.
Until now, the Driver's Ed program was on a first-come, first-served basis. Now, students need to sign up at an MPI service center or broker by January 3rd. Next, they'll get an email letting them know when and how they can register, with older students getting earlier registration windows. MPI says the idea is to take the stress off parents and students. The driver training program costs $50, with MPI covering the rest of the cost, which it says is more than $600.
I'm hoping everything will be okay and we'll be home next Monday.
Turbulent skies ahead. A major airline is set for a strike. What it could mean for passengers.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
There's a plot twist in the Netflix purchase of Warner Brothers. Paramount Studios has now launched a hostile takeover bid just 3 days after Netflix said it was going to buy the company. Paramount says it's going straight to Warner Brothers shareholders with its offer of $108 billion cash. It's the same bid the company previously rejected in favor of the Netflix offer of $72 billion. Paramount argues the Netflix offer will expose Warner Brothers shareholders to a lengthy regulatory process with an uncertain outcome. Another wrinkle, the new Paramount hostile takeover includes stakeholders and investors with close ties to President Trump. Turning to the markets now, oil was down $1.20 a barrel, while the Canadian dollar was up modestly. Gold slipped more than $25 an ounce. The TSX lost just over 141 points. The Dow Jones down just about 215 points, while the Nasdaq closed down more than 32 points. Get ready to see air transit grounded. Pilots at the airline are primed to walk off the job as early as Wednesday morning after the union issued a 3-day strike notice. Today, Air Transit says flights are still operating as planned. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the last-minute negotiations to avoid travel turbulence.
Travelers at Toronto's Pearson Airport checked into their flights this afternoon with an added bit of uncertainty.
A little bit nervous, but I'm hoping everything will be okay and we'll be home next Monday.
The union representing Air Transat's pilots has issued a 72-hour strike notice, with pilots poised to walk off the job early Wednesday morning if an agreement is not reached.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not really much we can do about it.
In anticipation of a strike, Air Transat has begun bringing its passengers back home. The airline says flights have been operating as usual today, but it's not clear whether flights will be canceled Tuesday, which the airline had said was possible. The two sides have been in negotiations for nearly a year, and experts say the timing of this strike notice is no accident.
They're doing this because this is the period of time where Transat is making its most money. It's the busiest time of the year for Transat. Planes are full. Fares are high.
The two sides remain at the bargaining table, with ALPA, the Airline Pilots Association that represents the 700 Air Transat pilots, saying in a statement, while some progress has been made, there is still work to do. We are working tirelessly to reach an agreement that achieves the collective priorities of our group. Air Transat says it has offered its pilots wage increases of 59% over the next 5 years, a number the union has called creative accounting. The union's demands are considered unreasonable, and its premature actions carry serious consequences for customers, the company, and its 4,300 other employees. Air Transat has struggled financially over the last several years and has not turned an annual profit since 2018. Asked last week if the federal government would intervene if Air Transat pilots hit the picket line, Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu declined to answer, calling the question hypothetical. Ottawa did get involved in August when Air Canada flight attendants went on strike. A back-to-work order the union ignored. Heather Wright, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
Donald Trump says Canada and the United States will eventually work out their differences on trade.
We spoke for a half hour. Very good, very productive. Talked mostly trade.
Will you restart negotiations with Canada?
Oh, well, look, I have a great relationship with Canada. They're very tough traders, but I have a very good relationship with the Prime Minister and with Canada.
Trump was on the red carpet at the Kennedy Awards and commented on talks he held last week with Prime Minister Mark Carney during the FIFA World Cup draw. Trump canceled trade negotiations with Canada in October over an Ontario government advertisement that quoted former President Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs. Canada and Mexico are both being hammered by Trump's tariffs on steel, aluminum, automobiles, lumber, and copper. At least 7 people were injured in northeast Ukraine, where Russian drones hit an apartment complex. This footage shows the battle to put out the flames as residents evacuated those damaged buildings. The Sumy region, which borders Russia, has been shelled and struck with drone attacks almost daily since Moscow launched its invasion in 2022. There's been another brazen heist of priceless art, this time in Brazil. Police are gathering evidence from the Sao Paulo library, where 2 armed men held up a security guard and fled out the main exit. Authorities are not revealing the value of the stolen pieces, but 13 items in all were taken. This art heist comes after thieves broke into the Louvre in October and stole jewelry worth around $100 million. And speaking of the Louvre, a water leak has damaged hundreds of works in its Egyptian department. The damaged items date from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. An internal investigation found the leak was caused by an accidental opening of a valve in the heating and ventilation system. That led to water seeping through the ceiling of one of the museum's wings. Louvre officials say no heritage artifacts have been damaged. Big news today for Canadian aerospace company Bombardier. The company showed off its new Global 8000 plane. It's being called the fastest civil aircraft in the world. Quebec-based Bombardier called the Global 8000 a revolutionary aircraft. The plane can go more than 1,100 kilometers an hour at its highest speed. Bombardier says it's the fastest civilian aircraft since the Concorde supersonic jet. The plane has a range of 8,000 nautical miles. Lava spewing from one of the most active volcanoes in the world knocked out a remote camera in Hawaii after erupting from dusk until dawn yesterday. You can see the moment lava and ash from the Kilauea volcano hit the camera. Officials say lava fountains reached upwards of 100 feet. The Hawaiian volcano has been erupting intermittently for nearly a year.
For a bedroom, we have this princess phone.
An endangered species, why landlines could get cut out of our lives in the near future.
Wow. Well, the long-range forecast for Winnipeg begins on Wednesday with the possibility of some flurries in the morning after the snow that's going to come through tomorrow. -12 is the high. We should see more of a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Cloudy on Thursday, same high around -12. And then things start to get a little cold out there. Down to -20 we go Thursday night, a high of just -19 Friday. So essentially the temperature holds steady. Dropping into the mid -20s Friday night. -22 is our high Saturday. -19 by Sunday. It's time to light things up for the holidays, and we want to see all your hard work. All those nutcrackers, lights, and trees can help you win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form and submit your photos. Good luck.
A new art exhibit is turning heads down in Florida. Robot dogs with human heads pooping printed pictures. Yeah, you heard me right. This bizarre spectacle is part of an exhibit in Miami, courtesy of the artist known as Beeple. It features the heads of influential figures like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos. The artist says it's meant to symbolize how power and persuasion shape the way the rest of us see the world.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Did we just really see that, Marilyn?
I was just going to say, in 25 years of sitting at this desk, I never thought I would have that sentence to share with you, but hey.
Here we are, folks.
Here we are, yeah.
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 How do I carry on now?
Take it away, Colleen. I don't know.
Well, this is a hard turn here we're going to make. But let's talk about the snow. Actually, for once, you might be wanting to talk about the snow. And I know the snowmobilers, I ran into a couple last week, who've been asking, where's the real snow? Well, if you are in the Southwest, you're about to get some real snow. First of all, though, we have the snow that's currently falling in the province. It's more so focused here in the Southeast. If you are seeing any out in the Southwest, there's not much left of it. And you can see there's a little bit of clearing, but this will be short-lived. East, though, the other direction, northwestern Ontario, that's where some of that snow is stretching into. Kenora, for example, seeing some light snow and drifting snow as well. But it's what's to come from Western Canada or further into Western Canada tonight that will be much more impactful for us here in Manitoba tomorrow and into Wednesday. Tonight, a low pressure system will be forming in the lee of the Rockies, so basically on the east side of the Rocky Mountains. It will be crossing Saskatchewan and into Manitoba. Out ahead of it will be the snow that will first arrive tomorrow morning, pretty early here in the Southwest. Now, these areas, again, now I was talking about this a few days ago. Environment and Climate Change Canada has revamped its weather alerting system, and so what we would normally call a winter storm watch is now a yellow watch winter storm. Yeah, the language is very similar, a little different, and there's a lot of subtleties with these changes that, again, I'm still learning too. Basically, what you need to know is that there's the potential for as much as 20 centimeters of snow in these warned areas, particularly areas in higher elevation in the Parkland region. That's where we'll likely see some of those higher snowfall amounts. But places like Brandon, you'll see several centimeters of snow come through this as well. This does not affect the Southeast with respect to a weather alert, but we are going to get some snow associated with this system as well. But first, there's the snow that's coming through the city right now. It will continue to move further to the east through northwestern Ontario tonight, in behind a little bit of light snow falling in northern Manitoba. But this is what we're keeping our eyes peeled on. This is this system as it races across Saskatchewan. But you see, it's not just snow. There is the potential for some freezing rain to pop into southwestern Manitoba early tomorrow morning. That could make for slippery conditions. Watch for that. But as the snow intensifies, particularly in southwestern Manitoba, Environment Canada is suggesting that road travel may become quite difficult because visibility may be reduced to zero at times. Here in Winnipeg and the surrounding areas, forecast amounts are considerably less, 2 to 4 centimeters for Winnipeg. So we'll get through this as we get into Wednesday morning, and then it clears out. But you can see there's more snow coming from the west. For tonight, the snow falling now will end anytime soon. -16 is the low, not sunny tomorrow. Sorry about that. Snow tomorrow afternoon. It'll start in the morning first, 2 to 4 centimeters, -8 is the high. Quick swing around the northeast tonight. We'll see temperatures rising in Churchill to -21, light snow for Island Lake and Thompson. Tomorrow, cloudy in Thompson, -20 degrees. In the northwest tonight, light snow there. Temperatures as cool as -26 in Lynn Lake. More light snow around the region tomorrow, for the most part, in In the southwest tonight, light snow lingers the latest in Swan River, and then tomorrow that incoming system will start pretty early tomorrow morning, highs between -8 and -11. And in Winnipeg and the surrounding regions tonight, we'll see that snow end this evening, more on the way tomorrow, and in northwestern Ontario. A little bit of snow there tonight, and this snow will make its way into Fort Frances tomorrow. It shouldn't be too impactful for Kenora Dryden. Our first weather photo takes us up to the Warren Landing Norway House region of the province. That photo is from Christopher, and this next one, there you go. That is the lady out enjoying her walk near Stony Mountain. That photo is from Darlene. You can send us your photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
There was a time not long ago when having a phone meant plugging a device into the wall to make a call. It was the days of rotary dial phones. But those types of phones are hard to find these days, and there's new evidence landlines themselves may be going away for good.
For a bedroom, we have this princess phone.
The year was 1977, and Illinois Bell was using Robin Williams to promote its landline phone business. Now, AT&T customers are getting letters like this one, telling them that the company will be pulling the plug on its landlines in March of 2027.
We got that letter, and we're supposed to look at it better, and I haven't done it.
Samantha Loomis's parents don't want to give up their landline.
They're set in their ways and can't rely on a cell phone service in a small town. If it was to go out and they needed to call an ambulance or a fire truck, they wouldn't be able to.
AT&T first started lobbying for the end of expensive to maintain plain old telephone service back in 2017. The Citizens Utility Board has been fighting to keep those landlines connected.
This was sad and frustrating development. There are still a lot of people who could use plain old, no frills phone service that's reliable and affordable, but it's not surprising because the company's been trying to do this for years.
But overwhelmingly, Illinois customers prefer their cell phones. One recent study from the research firm Chamber of Commerce found that 2/3 of homes have no landline, compared with 1/3 who still do. A little over 3 million people. In a statement, an AT&T spokesperson said the company is working with its customers to upgrade their copper-based service to newer, less expensive options like AT&T Phone Advanced. As part of that upgrade, he said, copper-based service will eventually be discontinued in these areas. This is a multi-year process, and no customer will be left without access to voice or 911 service. But these friends in Chicago from Ottawa, Illinois on a shopping trip say old habits die hard, and that their parents will be hard-pressed to give up their landlines.
My mother is a landline user, for sure.
My dad will keep it. He will keep it. He does not want a cell phone. As long as he can have it, he'll have it.
Turn the screens off. All right, turn them off.
Blinded by the light, the lengths some parents are taking to get their kids away from their devices. With Christmas just over 2 weeks away, holiday shopping is in full swing. But it seems Manitobans aren't spending like they used to. The stark reality is laid out in a new TD survey, which shows Manitobans are the most likely in Canada to cut back on holiday spending. Joining me now to share more of those findings is Eric Fontaine, a branch manager with TD. Eric, good to speak with you.
It's great to speak with you, Marilee.
First, can you give us an idea of just how many Manitobans are cutting back on spending this year and how that compares to past years?
Yeah, this year it's about 41% of Manitobans, according to the survey, which is the highest region in Canada. The average is about 36%. So a significant portion are really looking at this holiday season in particular and changing their habits from previously due to just the economic uncertainty and everything that's going on.
How much money do Manitobans plan to spend? Just how tight are our holiday budgets this year compared to the rest of the country?
Yeah, I think it's the same across the board. Marilee, I think things are tough out there, right? We're seeing it at the grocery store. We're seeing it in the cost of living. The holiday just overlays just another tough period, a period where we're being pulled into many different directions, and a period that's especially taxing on our wallets. I think Manitobans are looking to change their habits and and along with many other Canadians, but looking to redefine what the holidays means to us, and looking for different ways to celebrate the holidays without overextending.
You know, speaking of those tighter wallets, there is one place this survey found that Manitobans do plan to spend some money this Christmas, and that's at local small businesses.
Yeah, that's right. There's a real focus among Manitobans to spend locally, spend Canadian, and we're seeing that you know, quite a bit higher than the average of surveys responded. So it's you know, spending local and spending Canadian is absolutely top of mind, and you know, and I think that's great.
We know, as you mentioned, cost of everything, it seems, is higher these days, leaving us with less cash to buy extras. So will most of us have savings to pay for this holiday spending, or do we know how we plan to do this? Is it credit?
Yeah, no, there's quite a few strategies out there. The survey's shown many Manitobans and Canadians are looking to redeem loyalty points on their credit card loyalty programs and other loyalty programs to fund some of these holiday expenses that, you know, will need to occur. Many are looking to cut back on gifts this year, and others are looking at you know, thrifty ways to celebrate the holidays, right? The gift of time, making gifts, looking at experiential gifts. I know I myself am a father of two, and something we like to do every year with our two girls is we decorate Christmas cookies. So we make cookies, and then, you know, the girls decorate them with sugar icing, and then we freeze them in little Christmas bags, and you know, they'll keep till the holidays, and then we give them out. So it's a real cheap way to give something that'll make some memories, and at the same time, it's a great way to keep the kids busy over an afternoon during the winter months.
I love it. Make memories this Christmas, save a few dollars. Eric, thanks so much for your time tonight. It was great speaking with you.
It was great to speak to you, Marilee. Take care.
The federal government has announced new measures to make it easier for foreign doctors to become permanent residents in Canada.
To recruit the doctors we need, to retain the ones we have, and to cut processing times to ensure it all gets done quickly.
Ottawa will create a new express entry category for international doctors with at least 1 year of Canadian work experience in an eligible occupation. It will reserve 5,000 admission spaces so provinces and territories can nominate licensed doctors with job offers. A new study finds kids who spend excessive time on devices are at a higher risk of developing problems like anxiety and even aggression later in life. And now with the holiday season arriving, parents are getting creative to get their kids to look up from their screens. ABC's Janine Norman reports.
This holiday season, families are gathering together, but they may have to share quality time with tablets, phones, and video games. It's an issue even Woody and Buzz in the upcoming Toy Story 5 have to contend with.
Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Let's play.
Our adolescent years are such high impact years for brain development. The idea that technology can be interrupting that development is really concerning to me.
Now, adults across the country are finding creative ways to solve the issue, from some reportedly spending as much as $8,000 on camps to detox kids from their devices, to others tackling the problem themselves.
Turn the screens off. All right, turn them off.
Former NFL cornerback Chimdi Chekwa and his wife Sia are encouraging more outdoor play for their kids, but in the cold winter months, keeping kids busy can be a challenge.
They find plenty of things to do, and then we like to do things together. Like, they love to dance, so we'll play music and dance around the house, or they love to play games. They're really competitive in that nature.
And for many, like San Francisco mom Susan Rosenthal, packing the calendar for her daughter can feel like a full-time job.
We had to schedule every minute of the day because, you know, or else she would be bored and there will be consequences for us.
Rosenthal partnered with other parents to create the Dex Learning Camera, a device which aims to teach kids new languages.
Hola!
hoping to emphasize learning as well as play, in part to cut down on excess screen time.
For me, the peace of mind that she's doing something that I feel is more educational and is different and more interactive than, what is currently screen time.
Ultimately, increased screen time is here to stay, but experts say it's all about moderation and creating a plan, like establishing screen-free times, like during meals or before bed, and encouraging offline activity like arts and crafts, even imaginative play.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
The CTV Spotlight is next.
When a supervillain strikes, only one team is pawsome enough to stop them.
Paw Patrol to the rescue when the live-action version of the popular kids show will fly into Winnipeg.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the Crash Test Dummies Jingle All the Way Holiday Tour.
Some furry friends from TV are coming to Winnipeg this spring. Paw Patrol Live, A Mighty Adventure, is coming to Centennial Concert Hall on April 4th.
When a supervillain strikes, only one team is pawsome enough to stop them. Join Marshall.
The live stage performance follows favorite characters in the animated preschool series Paw Patrol. The rescue dogs must face off against a supervillain scientist who places the city's biggest party in danger. This marks the 4th Paw Patrol Live touring production with 3 separate showtimes. Tickets are available at Centennial Concert Hall's box office. Well, Winnipeg is in the midst sort of a deep freeze. Felt that way on the weekend. So the idea of lounging around Birds Hill Park might not be top of mind just at the moment, but tickets for the 51st edition of the Winnipeg Folk Festival are now on sale. This year's Folk Fest will take place July 9th through the 12th at Birds Hill Provincial Park. Now, the lineup for the show won't be revealed until March 5th. However, last year's the festival saw record attendance with sellouts across 4-day tickets, all campgrounds and day tickets. Organizers say if you want to secure your place at the show and take advantage of Tier 1 ticket prices, now is the time. You can get them at the Winnipeg Folk Festival office on Bannatyne or on their official website. A small town theater got quite the surprise when a trio of Hollywood actors stopped by to catch a movie. John Hamm, Johnny Pemberton, and Paul Walter Hauser popped into the Flick Cinema in Stonewall Sunday night. Staff at the theater say they were happy to take pictures and chat with other patrons, and the actors expressed their appreciation for small-town movie theaters. And if you're wondering what flick caught their interest, staff tells CTV News the stars were there to see a showing of The Running Man, starring Glenn Powell. Hamm is in Manitoba filming a new TV series called American Hostage. The nominations are out for the 83rd Annual Golden Globes.
Best performance in a stand-up comedy or on television. Bill Maher. Is anyone else seeing this? HBO Max.
Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another has been nominated for 6 awards, including Best Director. Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value has been nominated for 6 awards. Korean-Canadian director Maggie Kang also earned a Golden Globes nod for Best Animated Feature for her debut film, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Your CTV Primetime lineup begins tonight at 7 with St. Denis Medical. The Voice is on at 8, and then at 9 is Password, and that is followed by Tracker at 10.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
The Winnipeg Jets with the assist. How a visit at the Rehab Center for Children turned into a big win for kids and players alike.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Snow is still coming down for now. The winds are calm. The temperature is -10. Now, this snow will end anytime now, but there's more on the way. Quick look at the almanac. -10 the highest temperature today, but we only have to go back to 2020 for the record for this day, which was 6.7 degrees. Tonight, once the snow ends this evening, we'll drop down to -16 overnight. Now, there's the possibility of snow during the commute, but likely mid-morning onward is when the snow will fall. 2 to 4 centimeters expected on the way to a high of -8 degrees. Then we may see some flurries on Wednesday morning, -12. -12 again on Thursday. Thursday, cloudy, and then the sun starts to come out and the temperatures start to drop merrily. Just minus 19 Friday, minus 22 on Saturday, minus 19 by Sunday.
Yikes. Thanks, Colleen. Well, it was a big day for kids at the Rehabilitation Center for Children as they got a visit from some Jets players. The NHL stars met up with the kids and their families to chat, sign some autographs, and take some photos. Assistant Captain Josh Morrissey says the holiday meetup is an annual tradition to spread holiday cheer.
It's easy as a hockey player to get caught up in the wins and losses and, kind of the tough days of the NHL season. But, I think when you come, get to interact with some kids and families that are oftentimes going through, life-changing and very difficult situations, and they have a smile on their face, they're optimistic and, just looking forward to the little things in life. I think that puts into perspective, wins and losses.
And this wasn't the only stop they made. Jets players also visited kids at the Children's Hospital today. A lot of smiles on those faces.
Oh,
yeah.
Good for the Jets to get out there and do that.
Yeah, memorable moment. I'm
Forever.
sure they're gonna, exactly. Yeah. All right, that does it for us tonight. Go slowly in the commute, I guess, with all this snow as we get used to winter returning. We'll see you tomorrow.